I'm here with the Illuminati. I don't know what sounds there.
All frogs are gay.
The water makes you gay.
Making the frogs gay.
Graham Hancock.
Yeah.
Does he have good theories, or has he had too many drugs?
Well, nah, I think that if you you just gotta kind of accept that he's doing off his own back, he's doing his own research. You know what I mean? Like he's
never saying I'm right. He's just saying what you're told is. I don't think that.
He just wants people to question things and not just accept that like what you get told is like the correct way of thinking. Like he wants you to just question some things, and I think that's cool because like I'm constantly doing that in my own life. So it's like when you hear a new theory and then all of a sudden there's some new evidence for it, like I'm willing to hear it all and make up my own mind about it, you know?
Well, if he had that debate with that guy and the other dude just lied and then he went away from it thinking he like lost, he was like, oh.
Who is telling the truth? That is the question.
What a fucking name. I wouldn't listen to anyone called Flint Dibble anyway. As soon as they told me their name, I just fucking laugh at them anyway.
Flint Dibble.
Flint Dibble. He's fucking full of shit. Nah, so like, yeah, ancient civilizations, I guess, is the conversation, right?
I mean, I was there, I remember it.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I have to say, the world has gone pretty bad since then. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's been like what, 12,000 years?
Yeah.
I kind of want to be dead now.
Well, you might be lucky because
werewolves live forever, mate.
But from what he's saying is we're kind of getting back into that cycle of the torrid media stream, which is what created that the Younger Dryas, right? Which is the meteor that hit the North Americas.
It did. I just listened to that.
And
I mean, I was there when it happened.
Yeah, but
I travel at the speed of light.
Ancient direwolf.
I was the meteor.
Yeah, I just think it's like an interesting thing, and not so much like, you know, you could say, well, what the fuck does it matter to us anyway, or something. But I think it's just important to think like what you get taught at school is that like anything that predates the coming of like Christ, you think of as the time when people were fucking stupid and they were hunter-gatherers and they didn't know anything. And, you know, you have the time of the like ancient Romans, and that's when the world started to like pick up a bit. But what they're finding is that like there was definitely the possibility of ancient civilizations being as smart as us in different ways. Because I always thought like people from even like say a human 100,000 years ago, they still kind of had like the mental capacity of what we do now. We can take all the shit that we've got. We got laptops going. We got lava lamps going in here. We got fucking an aircon machine. We can comprehend all that. So like, why couldn't people that far back comprehend things and like think, oh, there's just certain technologies that they could like harness and use to build their society and do all those things. You know, like they weren't just foraging for fucking berries and shit, like and hunting animals. Like they could have been just as smart as us.
I think it's like the thing of the technology going in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Like the movement was not about like how do you make shit easier, which is what it is now. Like you know, they want to put a chip in your brain.
Yeah, they just want
you don't have to
they
think,
want you to be able to sit in your.
Well, that's what I mean. I'd do that. Don't you guys want full control? Because I do.
Well, yeah, like, I mean,
know?
hey, you can wear those Google glasses now, and you can sit on the toilet, and you can like scroll you can go on YouTube, and like you can do
YouTube.
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, literally with these like Google.
I want to control. You know, I want the phone so I can like control. Control other people.
It'll put it like a VR. It'll put like basically a virtual reality like web browser in front of your face that you can press, and you can do whatever you. But you can basically browse the internet like from. Literally wearing some glasses.
I wouldn't take it. I have enough going on in my head. I don't need random ads popping up. Like.
But I think it's just like realizing that some of those they took technology in a different direction, and they maybe like there's countless there's so many sites across the world that that are super, like, you can't explain how they moved, like, some stones. Like, look at just Egypt in general.
Yeah, that's like the main one.
Yeah.
The fact that we can now have iPhones and you can call someone on the other side of the world in like real time and all that shit.
But was that technology already there in another way?
Yeah, but then it's like,
but it was just lost.
No one can tell you how they built them, but you can do all that shit. Like, we can fly now to different continents.
So, like, one of the main things that I heard was, so, like, in recent history, the largest, like, stone that was moved with, like, a 12-axle truck, right, is, like, 370 metric tons, right? But some of these, like, you know, you think about, like, Stonehenge or even, like, Easter Island or any of these, was it, like Göbekli Tepe?
Yeah.
And, like,
What?
so it's a classic.
What's that?
So it's a site recent?
Yeah,
like,
they found it in, like, the
recent
90s
compared to everything else.
And like Istanbul, they found this site that basically, like, there's stones
The carbon dating doesn't make sense. Like, from what they told you before finding this place, then they tested it all and they're like, oh, actually,
like, this is like over like 10,000 years old.
when people shouldn't have meant to be stacking stones and carving pictures from how you're taught, and now they're like, oh wait, actually,
yeah,
there has been.
there was it's also like the Trina, I forget the name, but like the Trilithith stones or something, which was like around the Roman times. They think this happened, but they're basically literally like 1,000-ton stones that are stacked and look like they've been cut like with modern technology, and they're all stacked. They're stacked 30 feet high. It's like how they're 170 miles from their quarry site that they say that the stones came from. How the fuck did they get them there? And then why the fuck were they stacking them up in the air? Like, there's got to be some kind of reason, or there's got to be some type of technology that we're not aware of. If they can take something and do like they can do that with these objects, and we struggle to do it today with things that are far less.
Do you think that was just done so that like people can't find out or discover how like information, right? Like, it just gets deleted from history, so then no one else can use it. Or do you reckon it's just because of war?
No, what I think is that they were trying, like, there was some kind of, I don't want to say like society, but there was some people that what Graham Hancock's trying to do is say that there was basically a society of people that basically went and gave their teachings all around the world, and they're seen in multiple cultures of, like, I think he said like 7, like, you know, you got like the 7. There's like in Indian culture, there's like a number 7, and it's like this. It's a certain sort of group of people that were the smart ones. It's like Egyptian culture is the same. You got like the gods that were the smart ones, and they had all the ideals, and they were all Greeks the same. You know, you got like the god of X and the god of X, like love, whatever it may be. But you had all these people that would basically be the people teaching you these things, and he's trying to sort of say that they might have migrated their way around the world and given these people their technology and given these people their theories, and then they started to use them and create their own like structures and
like the
things.
similarities and everything is like.
Yeah, the similarities is what's crazy, and so like when I was talking about Easter Island before, they found that they've got all the statues, right? Like, are you familiar with the Easter Island heads? You know, there's that island, and they're all sort of like these same sort of statues, and they might be, I don't know, 20 meters tall or something. They found that they were actually digging into the ground, and they actually went like far deeper than they originally thought. They thought it was just the heads that were sitting out of the ground, but there was like sediment that had obviously covered up most of these statues, and they went like, how the fuck did they carve these things? How did they move them into place? They're literally in a big row along the beachfront on Easter Island. But what they found was there was some like stonemasonry that essentially like predated all of those statues. And then he started talking about some dates where basically the sea level was higher. Oh, it was lower at one point. And there's a mountain range that follows these Easter Island where the main island is. there's a mountain range under the water now, which would have been above the waterline, above sea level at one point in time. And if you follow this mountain range, you end up in like Peru, and where it ends up, there's like a trident basically carved into the side of this cliff face, and it pretty much starts from where this out of place masonry stonework starts, and then you find similarities there. So like Peru's got Machu Picchu, right? They find the same type of stonemasonry in Machu Picchu as they do on this Easter Island, which is thousands of miles off the coast. And he thinks that there was people that were basically like of Pacific Island nature that went and started like teaching people how to do these things over there. And so he thinks like it's the same as I think in New Zealand, like they've found. And I think it's like kind
you
of
were talking about before. There are some in New Zealand. I forget where they are, but there is like these. It looks like a hill, but then you get close, and there's legit like joins, and it looks like corn on a cob. You know, there's not like straight. There's no straight lines on it. They're kind of all like just looks like they've been mushed together.
Yeah.
That's what these stones are like. There's no like straight lines. They just fit into the other one that they're against.
And they look like machine cut. Like they look
all
like
over the show.
you would need fucking massive concrete saws and shit to pull this shit off. You know, like how do we get things that are so perfect in a time where people were meant to just
they're meant to be barbaric by definition,
and only have like barely even have like, you know, they don't have steel, they don't have anything that could create such precision. You know what I mean? So I think it's like, I just think it's interesting to like just take it all in, that like people could have been so smart back then, but we think of them as stupid, and we only get taught from, you know, like for the most part, you grow up thinking like, unless your family kind of pulls you in a different direction, but you grow up thinking about everything's like, you know, on that line of BC and AD kind of thing, and that's, you know, then you get to like the 1700s.
I mean, that's a very Christian way of like looking at it,
but,
right?
Yeah,
like the world is 5,000 years
That's like
old.
another side to the story. Yeah. They got so big that they were controlling what you think.
Yeah.
What that guy Graham Hancock
exactly.
Though,
I mean, we live in 2024 AD, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but really, like our species is how many years old? You know what I mean? So
what I find buzzy is like there's obviously Homo sapiens, but back in the day there's like hermaphrodites, and then there's like what's the other one? There's like another type of human.
Homo erectus.
But
hell of a name to choose for these things, eh?
Yeah. But there's like you know, different types of humans that you exist within being a human. Whereas like you know, now it's all kind of one type of human. Whereas before you have like different species of human, but now they're
it's kind of a weird
extinct.
little middle ground where
you crossbreed and then one just fucking took over. It's like, fuck you guys.
Crossbreeding goes a long way.
Yeah. Well,
dominant culture.
What was
about the royal family?
Yeah.
What was funny? What was funny about like that Graham Hancock Ancient Apocalypse series is that towards the end of it, he started to get into the territory of basically saying that like a lot of the shit was the result of like, you know, DMT and like all these drugs basically that ancient people were consuming. But then I kind of went like, I kind of get that, because it's not till you've ever taken some, like if you've ever taken acid or something, that you kind of go like,
I've never taken acid.
You kind of go like, holy fuck, like this shit's kind of crazy. Like what we have in front of us, and you could look at something so simple and be like, holy fuck, like this can of beer, like, you know, what's the process that's involved in that? And that's the basically the stoned ape theory is what he's talking about, is that like our ancestors were at one point like, you know, hunter-gatherers and foraging and stuff like that. So like surely at some point someone got, you know, there was always the guy that was stirring the cauldron. He was the first in line to have to eat it or drink it. And it might have had some shit in there that wasn't in there before. It wasn't in the last 20 mils, and he might have taken that shit. And they would be like, holy shit, Steven's tripping out right now. He's speaking some crazy shit. But that might have been what it took for like tools to start being created and stuff, because he might have had a fucking brain blast and been like, we need this and we need that, and like this guy's sitting on the ground, why can't he be sitting on a seat? This guy's feet are all cut up from walking over those rocks, why can't he have like some protection on there? You know, I think it's also that is a natural progression of being like a human, because
But
animals.
do you reckon that is from psychedelics though?
No, but it
I don't
could
believe so.
be one of those things that like
It
that
definitely changed like your way of thinking.
you change your way of thinking.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I guess so.
I've always
I
told
just-
myself, don't have an opinion about something until you try it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, gay stuff, no, like, I'm not going to try that because I don't need to know. But everything else, it's like, well, you can't really, like,
Don't
be
knock
like,
it till you
no,
try it.
you're crazy if you haven't looked into it or tried shit yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like picking mushrooms. I mean, it's sort of like, well, maybe it will poison you, maybe it will give you substance, or maybe it will get you high.
Yeah, people are like, you can't do that. You can do that. You can do whatever you want, but whatever you do, there's going to be consequences.
You got to know what you're getting yourself into. Education is key.
Yeah.
For all these kinds of things. I think if you especially taken around those mind... I don't know, it's weird. I think like how psychedelics are put on to me was like for a party, and I was like, that sounds retarded. Why would you do that? And I never... And then allegedly I might have had it later on, and I wasn't at a party, and I was like, oh, this is what this is for.
Yeah.
But it's very
certain-
weird. It's very weird when people are like, oh, this is like... It's like people who just like to get high, and you're like, okay, right, it's not... That's
Yeah,
what,
that's a
that's
different
what
thing.
this is. This
When-
is
yeah.
entirely different. It's like depends, but it, do you want to go to the deepest darkest parts of your mind? I mean, hey, I've been there. I do that sober. I don't need. I don't need drugs to do that. Some people can get there, but I think some people can't though, right? Like, and that's why there's a lot of talk about psychedelic fucking therapies and talking, and I think there's a lot of benefit as long as it's controlled with a health professional, all that good stuff. But I think it's like there's a lot of misunderstanding with it. But again, it's like people just drugs, that must mean it's a party. It's like no, bro.
No, but that's the thing with it. Like, I would have only ever done that shit a handful amount of times
Allegedly,
in my life.
you might have,
No, yeah, allegedly. But it's always helped me, like, probably had like a better couple weeks after that, because I probably thought about some shit while that was happening, and being like, oh shit, I really need to fucking sort that out. I need to put those ducks in
I
a
think
line.
there's a quote by out of all people, Bill Burr, who's like said like it's like it helps you sort out your life.
It does.
Because I think you can get so caught up in shit, and I definitely find I do. But I don't need a substance for that.
No.
I have other things that help me with that. But for some people, it's like you really need a kick in the ass, like to try and pull you out of whether it be bad habits.
You need that bad trip.
You need someone's
Nightmare.
Something like you're doing things fucked. Like change it. You know what I mean? I mean, what happened to our old mate from United? What's that American guy who died from that health insurance company? Did you guys hear about that? The assassination. Luigi.
Just recently.
Yeah, just recently. What was the guy? What
No,
insurance company?
I don't know.
It was like their healthcare.
United Healthcare or something, right? Yeah, and he got fucking. You know what? I've been waiting for a moment like that to happen for a long time.
Yeah, but it happens more often than you think as well.
I don't think an actual assassination of a very powerful, influential person with billions of dollars.
Not in a while.
What, Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, wow.
Wasn't that natural causes? Oh well,
bro. No.
You know what? I actually have no idea. Oh, I'm thinking of somebody
hung
else.
himself in his jail cell? I don't know. You could go so many ways with
P.
this.
Diddy did it.
Diddy did it, yeah.
With the lotion, he just put some Johnson
Well, see,
Johnson
funny,
over it.
Fucked him to death, and then he strung him up.
Just lubed him up.
Bro,
Jeez,
but
takes
all
two to
these people are now like deleting their fucking Instagrams and all that shit because they're wrapped up in it, like Jay-Z and all these people. All these people are wrapped up in that shit, bro, and it's all coming to light. And like you don't know if that's a distraction from something else somehow. Like, why the fuck did
Jamie Foxx thing that's scary. I don't know if you listen to his. He talks about it.
Has that been released? Because I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Was it called like what happened? What really happened, or like some shit like that?
And he just goes in on it all because there's old interviews of him being like, "Oh yeah, I went to a Diddy party, but I know when to leave."
Bro, so many of them.
That sounds like
back then you're like, "What?"
Yeah, that almost sounds like what happened with like Jimmy Savile. You guys know about Jimmy Savile?
Yeah,
that shit was so
yeah.
fucked, bro. But people were talking about that back in like the 70s and 80s, but then old mate had all the control over the radio and entertainment in the UK. It's like if you question, right? It's like you're not getting your song or your shit on the radio.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. People in power. When in doubt, buy an island.
I love that, man.
You gotta be pretty careful though.
Depends who you bring, fucking narcs. Like,
well, there's people that are supposedly on the list that I still haven't seen yet. But you're like, oh, fuck.
This is the thing. How far can money get you in terms of buying yourself off? Like, let's say the most horrible list of all time, doing those terrible things. How far can money get you? Do you reckon it can buy you?
Do you reckon money can? But like times change, so like.
Do you reckon money can get you off that list?
No, but I
don't think so.
I think it's the day and age.
I feel like it could. But
it all goes.
Everything's happening now. Like back in the day, if it came out, yeah.
Yeah, but they had full control back then, right? They had full control of anything that you consumed and everything you've seen on the media. But now, this is the thing. Like,
you got too much access.
We have the access, but it's because of we have to thank some guys like Elon Musk and that who bought Twitter off his own back at a loss.
Yeah.
So that people have free speech, and like we don't realize like. People will say like, oh, don't worry about America. Like America is America, and we're fucking New Zealand.
Oh, it trickles down.
It trickles right down to us. We don't realize how Americanized we are. We got fucking Bloods and Crips in fucking South Auckland.
We don't.
But we
have our.
But we've taken that on. We've taken on our own version of that, and and if it weren't for America, it wouldn't be that. So we just have to understand that like. We're actually blessed to be in a time like it's kind of scary at the same time like to have so much freedom of speech and like people can say whatever the fuck they want about you or put whatever they want about you on media.
I don't believe we're quite in. I don't know if it's like that anymore. I feel like these days it's much tighter. Of what you can say. I mean, X. All right, you're right. I'll give you that.
No, but I actually think we're now stepping into a new lane where like we're getting away with a lot more than we were, like, say, 2 or 3 years ago, right? The screws were fucking tight,
Yeah, this is a reaction to a lot to And,
so it's almost exploded.
It's a hard one, It's like for the benefits for a lot of things, but yeah, other things will obviously be a problem from that. But I believe ultimately the scariest thing for me was a few years ago was just how weird things were getting with media's been weird for a while, but it started getting really weird. And then it's like, I feel like I can't trust anything I look at.
Yeah,
I feel like everything is completely untrustworthy. But that's when people go down their own tangents. I mean, in New Zealand, like you guys remember, like the government told everybody that we are the only true source of information. How scary is that? That's fucking scary.
Yeah, because I don't trust you anyway.
No. Yeah. And that's like, and then that really freaked me out. And then a bunch of other things, but. That was the main one because that was like, okay, now we're it feels like we're under attack for like, and then you start creeping into these other sort of like government control things. I mean, I don't know if you guys know much about like communist governments and stuff, but it's pretty scary. You know, you got an opinion.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're going to be completely under fire and disappear. I think the craziest one. Here's a crazy one. You guys know Jack Ma? This happened like a few years ago. You guys know Jack Ma who owned Alibaba?
Oh yeah.
So did you heard about this? So
I heard about him.
So he disappeared for like a while, and the reason was this is quite interesting. In China, he started speaking his mind a bit. He's a very powerful billionaire in China, powerful businessman. China's sort of political system's a bit buzzy, but he started questioning things, which in the CCP world, it's a big no. But he had so much money, right, and quite a lot of power over the economy. Doesn't matter. He went away for a few months and came back and was like, hey, like everything's great.
Yeah.
But like that's the point where I'm not saying like, I mean, it's kind of a question of like how powerful can billionaires be and how much power should they have, which, that's another whole conversation. But even with someone with a little bit of influence or speak their mind, like, yeah, you're just going to get re-educated.
Yeah.
That's scary shit. And I felt like a little bit we were going down that route a bit in New Zealand. I thought we were starting to dip our toes in it. Yeah, I felt, which was getting scary.
I think it's just, you get to an age where you're like, oh, I've made my own fucking mind up about shit, and you got to have a pretty strong will to just be, like, to stick to that. And what they were trying to do is make everyone kind of be on the same boat together. Mm-hmm. And, like, if you think of anything other than what we do, you're an outcast. and you're weird and you're strange, or you're
Yeah.
going against the grain too much.
Yeah.
And
Isn't it funny how that outcast thing like happens to you? Like if you're like, oh, I don't know about this, and everyone's like, fucking blah blah blah, like point fingers, like how dare you think different? And you're like, whoa, this is scary.
Best example of that I found was their election. They just had a new president, and the amount of people over here that were complaining. I get it does affect us in a way eventually, but the amount of people complaining about things that had nothing to do with like how it's going to affect you, and they're like, oh, he won, oh, the world's ending. I'm like, well, no. The fact you said that, I don't think you quite have been following along. Why would it wasn't surprising what happened there.
I'm not surprised at all.
No.
I think
you can't be surprised.
I think if we go into that, one thing that I feel like, especially in America and with the domination probably for a while of the Liberal Party, is one thing they do which is real wild is just a lot of media do it, but it's like the gaslighting.
Yeah,
It's gnarly. Like, the gaslighting is gnarly. That's one thing I was like, holy shit. I don't like either. That's one thing in New Zealand that I don't like that's happening now. It's like back to that trickle down of America. I used to feel like, maybe I was wrong, but I felt like people were more a bit centrist, like, oh, I'm a bit over here, I'm a bit over here.
Yeah.
I like to, I'm kind of in the middle, but now it's like, oh, we need to make things edgy, so I'm either going to be left or right, and if you're not either, fuck you. And it's like,
you're wrong.
It's horrible. I really fucking hate that
I
shit.
think I think I still try to maintain that.
But if you pay me enough, no, I'm kidding.
I think I try to maintain
Just sign
that
here.
centrist thing, like you say though. Like to be fair, I'm happy with the way things went over there. But I also don't truly think that everything that he stands for
Of course
is
not.
fucking gospel.
But what I find funny was with the old DT, I call him, is everyone he's a convicted felon and went to prison. I'm like, have you seen people involved in politics?
They're all fucking.
What do you mean? What about everybody else? And I'm once again, not gonna solve problems. I don't believe that it's gonna be whatever some people believe it's like the God sent to change the world. No, but it's a better way that we were going. I thought things were getting a bit scary, and I think now with technology as well. I don't know if you guys follow much of Canada and stuff, but that's pretty scary stuff.
Yeah.
I think especially or even COVID, the idea orientated around what was it, enclosed, you only have a certain amount of area you can go out of your community.
Yeah.
All right.
What was it called? There's a term for it, and I've forgotten what it is, but.
A bubble?
Your bubble.
Anyway, no, but there's some government name that they call it something you're something safe area or something, but it's actually no, you're in a fucking prison bubble where you can't go unless you pay extra X fee or whatever. It's just
but we got a weird end of the stick with all the COVID shit too.
It's very strange.
New Zealand.
Imagine growing up. You know what's crazy though? Because imagine going to school. High school or something during COVID.
Yeah, I did think about that.
Imagine how weird that. I mean, I feel so.
It was fucking weird. And you know what happened at the end of that? It's so many of these kids didn't want to go back to school.
Yeah.
Because they got a taste of that, working or doing schoolwork from home thing. You know, and I know people that it kind of went that way for their family, and all of a sudden, all these kids they got fucking anxiety through the roof because this COVID thing was so dangerous that you don't want to go outside, and you don't want to even talk to your neighbor or what. I remember talking to I lived around the corner from my parents, and I remember going for a walk and talking to them from the fucking footpath, and they're standing at the gate and we're 3 meters apart, and it felt weird. It felt like if anyone drove past or anything,
in trouble,
we're in trouble, and they'd be they'd be like, oh, look at those fucking idiots, or they're gonna spread it, or they're gonna get it, or whatever, and it just instilled this crazy fear in a whole society, which I was it's I don't know, you could go two ways with it, but I was kind of I was in that survival of the fittest kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's what happens in those moments,
and you know what? In the end, from what I have seen, it was such a small percentage of fucking people that died from that.
Directly related.
Directly related to COVID.
Yeah.
Let alone COVID in its whole circle, and then you've got the people that were like vaccinated and died from like some vaccine related fucking
which were then covered up.
Complications, which were either covered up or like the numbers like just don't add up for how dangerous it was supposed to be.
How many homies like get it now?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I've got COVID. And like your brain first is like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, so are you coming over?
Yeah. Like, where you at with it? Like, you still, as your lines on your test kind of fading away? Or like, you go solid line or what?
So interesting what we I was here we go, let's get in it. Was that a test to see how far governments can control us?
I think so.
I think so.
I
feel like it was a test
and
to
you know what?
Let's see how far we can
make
push
them
people.
Panic like shit.
Yeah.
And it did everywhere.
Yeah, can we just shut down the whole fucking country?
Yeah. Can we shut down everything, and how much can we control people?
Bro,
like,
the amount of
let's
people
see how far we can go.
Like the amount of people that lost their jobs, or like there was a famous story of the Mad Butcher from where we live in Pukekohe, right? The guy that ran the Mad Butcher, he committed suicide because his financials just ceased to exist as soon as that shut down. Literally, like, you know, everyone was like, greatest family man, like best guy you'd ever fucking meet, killed himself because he couldn't go to work and make a crust for his family. And I think that was the saddest part of it all, is like all those people that just lost everything.
Yeah.
Like they might have been right at the fucking edge of building everything they ever wanted to, and then
ripped out
from it got ripped out from underneath them. And for what? Like now we're fucking at the point where, like you say, you don't even give a fuck if your mate's got it. You're kind of like, oh, we'll see if I get it.
Yeah. And then people's lives are like completely destroyed or lost from
my dad never got the vaccine.
Shout out Nigel.
Shout out to Nigel.
Nigel
Never got COVID.
There we go.
He was working in like for a towing company at the time, right? He was in the office. He was the guy's right hand man. He was dealing with fucking people every day, and they were dodging around him, and you know people were coming through the doors and like, oh, don't go in his office and shit.
I feel
he
like
never got it.
I feel like though on that subject, it depends on like genetics. I feel like it really depends on like everyone's got different immune systems. Everybody's got different stuff. Like it's hard to quantify with anything. I think in like the health space, right? Like you and I, we can get sick from completely different things. I won't get that sick. You'll get very sick, or vice versa. So I think like it's hard, eh? And like I don't know now. I'm still just like a big fuck you to that control aspect.
yeah, for sure, man. You don't want to. Yeah, I mean, and we're kind of fucked. Like either way, like we really, us sitting in this room have no control over that.
No, we don't.
But you just gotta be able to think for yourself. I think that's the main thing. Like you gotta be able to just.
But you know what's even crazy? Like, how deep do you want to go in terms of looking at even like what search engines you use to find information, to which web pages you go to, and what you read?
So from I've seen something about
this is what gets crazy, because search engines are biased.
Oh, for sure. Like Google 100% is biased now, and like you can't find what you're looking for on there anymore because
it's the DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo, yeah.
That is, you get a whole different like page up.
So you type
in anything and it's just totally different.
I gotta try it.
Do you know of Alex Jones?
What a man!
Oh, frogs are gay.
I mean, we did start off with the frogs are gay.
Do you know my favorite was when he had the BJ Craig Jones. You guys follow? Yeah. He had Craig Jones on. He just like choke me out. Just fucking put him to sleep.
Oh yeah, and he fucking slept him, eh? And then he's like, "What happened?" You just went to sleep. He's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So like Jones, for you to find his is it Infowars or band.com or
I don't think you can.
No, you can. I remember seeing on like a Reddit, it was like a Reddit thread, and people were like, you have to go into this basically like this Russian website
out of all places.
And then you have to go to this video that's from like March 2023, and then you have to go to like there's like maybe a little section where there's like a few clips from that, and one of them you'd click on it and it doesn't say live on it, right? Which like all the other videos that are actually streaming at that current time say that, but you click on that one and it actually takes you to his current podcast or whatever, his current show, and that's live. But you have to jump through all of these fucking hurdles to get there.
But isn't it funny, like, as humans, like, when it comes to things that are slightly blocked off, or like, you know, you can't do this, or you shouldn't watch this person, we're like even more curious to find it.
Yeah, the big red button theory.
Yeah.
Don't touch the big red button. I'm going.
You're just gonna sit there all day and just go like, fuck, what if I did it?
Yeah. So I think it's like the same with when you like ban people off these platforms or cancel or whatever. It's like, oh, I want to know more. Like, what was how crazy were they, or was he, or whatever? And it's like, oh, it wasn't that crazy. Just made the wrong person upset or something, or maybe they were. I don't know.
Isn't it crazy though that like those people like Alex Jones like have dedicated their whole life to being fucking like the nuts guy?
Yeah.
And they're so like passionate,
so much
and I respect that, bro.
He's a good example of the whole control thing we were talking about, because like he's right on some things, and then as soon as he's wrong on one thing,
like that's it. Like the guy's wrong. It's like that's what also I find interesting with other like podcasts, like, and obviously talking about the old bro Jogan, the Joe Rogan. Yeah. But like he has conversations like every week. And it's like, oh, he got all this wrong. I'm like, yeah, but like, the guy does like conversations every week, and like, are you stupid to think that everybody on there for 2 hours is 100% correct?
Yeah, I've said some shit. I've said some shit on this podcast that I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I know enough. That's the beauty. I know enough to like question
real
it.
News, man.
Yeah, I know enough to question.
We are the news guys.
To be intrigued, we are.
We are the news. But that's the thing. It's like it's so stupid. I don't know. I just find that argument like, oh, they're wrong about all this shit. It's like
everyone's
it's a podcast,
wrong.
You dumb
everyone's
shit.
wrong at some point.
I think the biggest thing about like Joe is that he's very. It's easy for him to just admit like, oh, I didn't know that. Or he gets someone on the next week that actually knows more than the fucking last guy, and he'll be like, okay, sweet, like, you know, that's the information that I needed to actually form my opinion, and that's why I actually like out of any podcast, I listen to many other than him, because I feel like he's like your mate.
Yeah.
You know, he's like
sounds like your friend, like just chatting.
Just chatting, and he's like, he's the first to say like, I'm a fucking idiot, like I know how to do jiu-jitsu. And like, you know, I commentate the UFC and I did fucking Fear Factor, and like this podcast took off, and I've got some crazy ass mates that like do drugs, and they do drugs, and some of them are fighters, and some of them are world class scientists and shit. And he just takes all of that and wraps his creates his own opinion. And I think that's like important to be like that, and that's kind of what we were talking about at the start with the music stuff. Is like just take everything in.
Where are we talking about that?
And well, we're kind of saying like, you know, take.
I know that wasn't me.
Take.
I'm in the Illuminati, bro. I'm gonna make some rules up in here.
Yeah, I don't know. Just form your own fucking opinion, and just like
my opinion though. That's the thing. After this whole chat, all I'm thinking is I need to start a cult. You guys in?
It'd be pretty easy, I reckon.
I think it would be easy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mouth breathers out there. And I feel
new like.
You just need to be
religions or groups that pop up, and then, you know, it's 2024 and you're like, that guy's Jesus.
You just need to like sell yourself on your idea enough to then convince people and have the confidence. And suddenly you've got 100 people paying you money. Old Brian Tamaki, you know? Doesn't take much, bro.
I think that happens
shout
enough.
Out.
No, shout out to Brian.
He's shouting himself out enough, fucking standing on the top of the motorway
on the bridge,
man, waving his flag.
Why
around.
Isn't he dead? I mean, you know, allegedly, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you know, I don't wish bad things upon people, but every now and again.
Are you calling for an assassination attempt?
Nah, maybe not an assassination, but I feel like prison's a bit nice.
You don't miss this time. Put a scope on your fucking rifle.
That's sad that Jack Black took that the wrong way, eh?
Yeah.
I think but when you're talking about control, I think that right there, I think they're still mates. I think fucking Kyle Gass and Jack Black are hanging out right now.
Yeah, probably.
But I think that
they didn't need to call off the thing though.
Yeah, but they had to, because they probably got told to, right? Like someone. It wasn't Jack that made that decision. It was the fucking guys that have him by the strings. You know, that were like, okay, well, for you to look like you're not the bad guy, you have to now disown this guy. You have to make it look like you. That's it. You've cut all ties with this guy. Otherwise, we'll come after you.
But I feel like it's Jack Black. Like if he said "fuck you," I'm not doing that. Like who's got? If an article came out like Black Jack wanted Trump dead, cancel him. How many people would be like, oh, I don't give a fuck, it's Jack Black.
I feel like if you write the article in the right way, you'll get him cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can deliver the message in the
I don't know,
right
bro.
way.
Pick a Destiny will always be one of my favorite movies that I ever watched as like
Great movie.
as like a young teen.
Great movie.
I'll always strive for a cock push.
Cock push-ups, yeah. That's some amazing. Then that fucking mushroom trip that he went on with like this.
I remember that. You must like the
with the Yeti in that. That was
That's
some
great.
gold shit.
All right, I have a list.
Okay, let's go.
Let's talk about.
Is it the island list?
Well, no, it's not. I just decided to look up like some like unbelievable theories that were actually true. I don't even know some of these, but let's get into it. Tuscany Syphilis experiment. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
In 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service conspired with the Tuscany Institute to create a phony syphilis treatment program. The experiment involved lying to almost 400 African American men who had been diagnosed with syphilis. Was initially only supposed to last 6 months. It took until 1972 before the public became aware of the research and the government was forced to investigate and shut down the program.
Holy. Well, it's like
What? So they were like, we have a cure. Not.
Yeah. Pretty much. 40 years, 400 men were given dangerous chemicals and offered a painful, unnecessary medical procedures under the guise of actual treatment.
So what were they? Do you know what they were actually trying to find out? Or they were just prodding these guys?
A government panel deemed the study ethnically irresponsible. Lawsuit. It doesn't actually say why.
Shit, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Everyone says it's bad, so yeah, we're sorry, it's bad.
Was it just African Americans?
I don't know. It's just off this website. I mean, who knows what's.
There was
happening.
a weird time though, like that 60s 70s thing. Like people were just trying shit and seeing if it sticks. You know, it's like that MK Ultra shit. You know, where they're giving.
Here we go.
And that was like a proven.
Bring out the sheet.
They literally admitted. They literally admitted that they did it. You know?
Yeah, the MK Ultra CIA mind control project.
Yeah.
The 1950s and communist spies are everywhere. The Cold War is heating up, and it looks as though the Soviet Union might gain the upper hand on American democracy. What would you do? With the hopes of discovering a truth serum, the CIA decided they needed to secretly dose unwitting US and Canadian citizens with LSD and then interrogate and occasionally torture the participants. The CIA paid hospitals, prisons, and universities for their participation and their silence. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered that all documents related to MK Ultra be destroyed. Whoo!
But imagine that, like just.
It definitely would have worked on not on everyone, but it would have worked.
It would have worked on some. Everyone's like, fuck.
Like if you're getting fed whatever it may be,
Well, it was like
if you're getting
LSD
fed
and-
something constantly and you got someone in your ear, you're like, you're gonna go stand here. You're gonna shoot this many times. Like that, they're gonna just be tripping out. Like, yeah, I am. I'm gonna do that.
Well, that was the thing with Charlie Manson, right? Like he was right in amongst all that, and he
gave it to his disciples.
He took it to the ranch, and like everyone took that shit, and then it formed basically a cult, and they started fucking killing people and sacrificing people and doing fucking wild ass shit, and it was all it was all from the CIA.
Here's another goodie. Operation Snow White. You guys heard this one? The Church of Scientology versus the U.S. government.
Is that black actress?
During the 1970s, 5,000 covert agents from L. Ron Hubbard.
LRH. Main man.
Conspired to perform the largest infiltration of the U.S. government in American history. The church infiltrated 136 organizations, including the IRS, the DEA, foreign embassies, and other government agencies. They installed wiretaps and stole hundreds of documents with the hopes of protecting their church and from paying millions of dollars of tax. Funny fact about that is that they won the ability to be a church in the 80s. So they don't even pay tax these days.
Yeah, and there's a new guy that runs it, and apparently he's just milking it.
He's fucking cooked.
Oh, L. Ron Hubbard. Shout out to him. Great
Al
imagination.
An American hero.
Yeah. Well, for some,
For some.
If I wrote a Bible
comic
based
books,
off of Marvel,
yeah.
how many people would you have?
But
being
have you?
Oh my god!
The best thing about that is that South Park episode where they fucking they tell the story
like
of
that's a
Scientology,
show.
and then it's just got like blinking. in blinking text, like, this is what Scientologists actually believe. And it's just like all these fucking aliens and all this shit, like coming down to Earth and fucking everything up, basically.
All right, we'll go for one more. How about that? All right, this is one I want to get into. The Bohemian Grove, the rich, the powerful, and the
Shout out
giant
Alex
stone
Jones.
owl.
Our leader, Alex Jones.
The mysterious surrounding the Bohemian Grove in Mount Rio, California, have been a favorite topic among conspiracy theorists. Blah 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 blah. The stories usually involve rich and powerful men meeting in the woods every year, where they engage in pagan rituals and worship a giant stone owl. The owl reportedly plays voice recordings of member Walter Cronkite. I don't know about this. Sounds pretty kooky. Well, it turns out that the CBS, NBC, and ABC have confirmed the existence of the Grove. The Bohemian Club was formed in 1872 and quickly received attention and funding from wealthy businessmen. Of course it did. In 1942, the Grove hosted a meeting for the Manhattan Project that led to the creation of the atomic bomb. While it's true that the most powerful men in the world come here and perform strange rituals in front of a giant owl, it's mostly a place for powerful men to behave like drunken frat boys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have that much money and
you're going to get into some weird shit.
But you
like, look at everyone.
Don't you kind of have to have that type of society if you've got that much money and, you know, you have to hang around with people
who have the same wealth as
you. Yeah,
because you just feel like the common person doesn't understand.
Yeah,
well, like the Skull and Crossbones Society, same thing, and it's been around for so long. Like you're just not, and they're all rich. You're not gonna be like, do I have to do this? You're gonna be like, yeah. I'm fucking sacrificing people.
The Aztecs won't have a
But like, I don't know. Do they run out of like fun things to do when you got that much money? Do you think? Do you have to get high on sacrificing people?
Isn't it that whole thing? Like you need to get a kick, right? Like how many like normal things? You have lots of money. How much cocaine and hookers can you have before you're like, this is boring now?
Yeah.
Well, like there's that movie where it's like rich people and they invite other people and they end up hunting the guests.
Oh yeah, that was
like
a fucking good movie.
That will go. That surely goes on. Like, come on.
Was that the one where they end up on like that Russian train? And like that chick is like the main character, right? She's the one that kills them all in the end. Yeah, and then she fucks that other. It's like the two chicks fighting at the end, right? That's a fucking cool movie, and movie. Like because it's in like some. Is it in Russia or is it in some weird country? But they fully stage like the whole. Like there's even like a little town, where they like go to. And she goes to the gas station, but those two people are like in on it as well. Yeah.
But there's another one where like there's couples getting married, but she's marrying into a family that believe they're cursed, like their great granddad sold his soul to the devil, and blah blah blah. And if they don't like do this certain ritual, like they all die. So they just live doing it because they're like, we're gonna die.
Yeah.
Movie ends up she like gets away, and so they're all like, oh fuck, we're all gonna die, and then the movie's good because they do actually all die. They just like combust like on the spot, like blood everywhere.
Yeah, I love it.
But it's like imagine how many families where like that goes on, and you're not gonna want to die.
There's something funny about movies these days where like people are just like exploding. I don't know if like I've watched a few weird horror movies lately. I watched like this vampire movie where they got. What, Quentin?
Yeah,
he does like a good like just like blood, just like as much blood as possible.
Well, the best one's Kill Bill, where she takes the chick's head off. And
fuck yeah!
It's like a fire hydrant, like just straight up. You're like, that's exactly what I want to think happens.
There is. I watched like this weird vampire movie a couple of weeks ago, and it was like any time that any one of them got direct sunlight, they literally just fucking exploded. Like, and it was so great to watch. I'm laughing out loud, but I'm so invested in this movie. It kind of took away from like the seriousness of the movie, but they just literally fucking explode. I thought it was great.
Combustions are like
like
the marketing
human
tool.
combustion. Yeah.
Whatever gets you going.
Yeah. I like it all extreme. You know. I love a good story, but I like
that was good.
Extremism.
All right, I think the Illuminati. I think our meeting's over. It's been constructive. I feel like we discussed a few things.
We drifted in
a few takeaways. I think we need to start the cult.
Yeah.
Recurring revenue and assassinations of people we don't like. I think we've got a few things.
Well, those are keys that a lot of people would like to have. I think.
Yeah. Well, that's. Well,
it's a dangerous vehicle, but
Manifest, bro.
Yeah, you gotta believe it. Or it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. You gotta sell the dream. I'm selling you the dream, bro.
I'll take whatever you give me.
We're
bro.
taking members. Anyone want to join?
Yeah. We're gonna start
We'll take
this.
everyone.
Yeah. Well, not everybody, but
We're gonna start up a Russian. We're gonna start up a Russian website.
A
very
Russian.
soon.
Did anyone speak Russian or write it? ChatGPT can. We'll figure it out.
ChatGPT can fix everything.
Yeah. All right. Let's. I think Illuminati's out on this one. Thank you, mysterious members. And
Thank you.
we are one.
Always.
Cut.